Hello, I am excited to film this video. I'm a little bit nervy to film this video, but I'm actually mostly excited. I posted on my story and I said, ask me anything, make a comment on anything, and I'm just gonna get real, open, raw, and we're just gonna get into it. I'm not gonna hold back, and you definitely didn't hold back with what you messaged me. As you shouldn't. So I'm gonna be doing my makeup just so that I have something to do with my hands, because I'm a nervous person. So I feel like this will give me something to physically do and it'll take my nerves away. Yeah. Okay, so let's just jump right in. Someone said, you better stop acting like you're 50, you're 22, your youth and wild days aren't over. T, I hear you and like I get that. And like I understand. I feel like, right now I'm just like super focused on my goals and like working and this channel. And that's kind of where I like to put most of my energy. And I did have a party phase. I moved to LA when I was 17, about to turn 18, and I had my party phase then. And I very much feel like I'm good. Plus, like, who says that just because you're young, you have to like have a party phase? Like, what if I want to be a 40-year-old mom that gets drunk at the Christmas party? I see no problem in that. So, I feel like I have the rest of my life to turn up and let loose and get into it. But I do just prefer my chill lifestyle where I prioritize my goals. And that's good for me. I feel like I'm not really missing out on much, to be honest. And the times that I have like gone out and let loose, I wouldn't say they were that like crazy fun. You know what I mean? Okay, have you and Henny ever considered breaking up? Or have you ever seriously considered breaking up? So I feel like I show like obviously a bit of a highlight reel of our relationship, and it's really easy to read the comments that are like goals. I aspire to be like you and Henny. And for the most part, that really is how it is between us. Like, we have a very healthy relationship. I think the most important thing in relationships is communication. And once you kind of master communication, you kind of feel like you can take on anything. But have we ever seriously considered breaking up? I mean, we've gotten in some fights, like we've gotten in some pretty bad ones. I don't think either of us were actually thinking like, oh, we're gonna break up, but we are obviously just like regular people, and we've had our fair share of fights. Do I ever like think in my core like, oh, we're gonna break up? Not really. If I'm being honest, no. Okay, so next one, how do you stop yourself from comparing yourself to others, parentheses, body journey, in life, etc.? I really can't seem to figure that out, to be honest with you. I feel like it's something that we all just kind of go through. Literally last night, I was staring at this girl's body on Instagram, and she was just like, she had such a good body. She had like the abs, she just is bomb. And I was looking at it forever. I was scrolling through her whole page. I'm like, damn, like it's hard not to compare yourself on Instagram. And, I don't really think there's an end to that. I actually had a conversation about this with Henny yesterday. And I was like, damn, her body's so perfect. Like, I wish I could look like that. And he brought up a point that I feel is very true. And he was like, okay, well, maybe she is like the best truck. You know what I mean? Maybe she's like the shiniest truck. She has the biggest wheels, and she's the best truck, but maybe you're a Porsche. So, I mean, that's how I feel. So then in this analogy, I guess you could just focus on being the best Porsche that you could be, but you're never going to be that truck, So, yeah. Does that make sense? I feel like that was a very boyfriend way to explain body image to me. He's like, you're not a truck, but you're a Porsche. I'm like, oh my God, thank you. But like, I used to totally love and respect your content, but you've been a little self-absorbed lately. And I will get into that. But first, a quick word from our sponsors of today's video. Thank you, Surfshark, for sponsoring today's video. Surfshark is a VPN, and basically that allows you to get your laptop or your phone and place it to be anywhere you want in the world. Like, you could pick a country, and what that does is it lets you unlock websites, access things that you can't reach in specific countries. Like, I know, for example, I went out of the country years ago and I was trying to watch an American show and it wouldn't let me watch it. So it's great for streaming. It also gives you an added layer of security when you're you're online so that your passwords, your photos, your videos, everything can be safer. And Surfshark can help you stay safe when you're using public Wi-Fi, because obviously public Wi-Fi is great, but it's a gold mine for hackers. And it's the only VPN that allows you to create one login and use it on as many devices as you want. So you can use my code Lauren to get 84% off and 4 extra months for free. And they also offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, so if you don't like it, there's no risk. And the link will be in my description. Okay, let's get back into the video. I used to totally love and respect your content, but you've been a little self-absorbed lately. I feel that. Like, I completely understand how somebody could feel that way, and that is helpful feedback. You know, to be honest, like, sometimes you don't want to film yourself, and sometimes you don't really know what to vlog about. And I'm not trying to make like any excuses for this at all, but sometimes the easiest thing to talk about is myself and my day. And, you know, I feel like with being a YouTuber and vlogging and filming yourself and taking pictures of yourself for Instagram, like, it's very easy for that to come across as a bit narcissistic. I mean, I literally have a camera pointed at myself nonstop. Like, how much more self-absorbed could that come across? So I feel you on that one. And sometimes it's tough. Like, sometimes when I'm not feeling creative, I literally just don't know kind of like what to film, and it is challenging. So yeah, I feel you on that one, girl, because yeah, I do. Does living together for years change your relationship? That's a good question. Okay. I would say that you definitely learn a lot more about a person a lot quicker. It is a whole nother ballgame. I mean, I feel like anybody that has a roommate can relate. Like, you think you know your friend until you live with them, and then shit starts getting a lot realer. Obviously, things get a lot more intimate, and it's easier to get close to the person because you share a space and you become a team, and things get divided between two people, and it's like, you handle this, I handle that, you'll do the dishes, I'll clean the floors. And it definitely feels like it builds a lot more of a team dynamic. But I mean, I guess the downsides are sometimes it takes away from the special, like, I don't know, like, how do I phrase this? Like, I feel like when you're around somebody so much and you're living with them so much, it can kind of take away from like the magic moments of like a date, like getting picked up to go on a date and stuff like that. And I feel like dates can even feel a little bit more magical when you're not living with somebody, because it's like you're allocated time to see them, and then you get your place all ready and you have them over, and it's like cute. So you do miss out on some of those things. But I mean, it's kind of like a give and take, and it really depends on the person too. Like, I don't think living with the significant other works for everybody. You know what I mean? Like, it really does depend on the person, and if it works, it typically works great. You have somebody there all the time. You don't really feel that lonely ever. I mean, you have somebody there. It's nice to fall asleep with cuddles. Like, it is great. But I can only imagine how difficult that must be if it's somebody that you don't really enjoy, because you're like, ew, get out. You know what I mean? So, would you like to have kids? And if so, how many and what gender? Yes, I would like to. Like, I feel like, I don't know, it's very hard for me to really think about right now because I'm really young. So, like, to imagine myself with a stomach, like, with a child in it, and to imagine myself giving birth and all that seems incredibly scary. I was just watching Desi Perkins' birth vlog, and I almost fainted just watching that. And I remember the whole time watching that being like, yo, I'm gonna have to do this. Like, kind of want to keep putting that off, you know? Like, that's half of my brain. But then the other half of my brain, like, obviously wants to be a young mom and be able to be super involved in my kid's life. So, I don't know. Timeline? Like, I'm not sure on the timeline there. I think a good amount of kids would be 2. I feel like 1 opens like a potential possibility of the kid being lonely. Also, I feel like 2's fun. 2's a party. As far as gender goes, I mean, ideally 1 boy, 1 girl. You get both experiences, and you only have to do it like once each time. Like, I think I would get along more with a boy like a child that's a boy. But I also would love like a little girl and like dressing her up and like, you know, I don't know. So yeah, I mean, but bottom line, as long as they're healthy, that's literally all you can ask for. Oh my gosh, someone said, I made my own Lauren Giraldo merch because you don't sell any. I'm in the process right now of making my merch, but I'm excited to release it. I don't know if it's gonna be a Christmas drop or a New Year's drop, but I'm hoping to make it to one of the two. And my thing with the merch is, like, I'm not gonna release anything that I wouldn't personally wear, so I've been getting samples, I've been wearing them, I've been putting in the washer dryer to see how they react to that sort of thing, and I definitely like have all the concepts done. It's a matter of execution now, which a lot of it is out of my hands, but it's gonna be really cute and really wearable, and my whole thing is like, if I wouldn't wear it, I'm not gonna sell it. So I think you're gonna like it. This NARS palette, by the way, is so good, and I'm so sad that they discontinued it. It's called Afterglow. The pigments are amazing. I can't stop using this palette, and they don't even sell it anymore. Silly you, NARS. This is everything. Okay, next question. Are you sad that Henny hasn't proposed? No, I'm not sad about it, because I very much feel like I found my person. He definitely feels the same way, and I'm not in any crazy sort of rush, because like, what's the point? You know, we've been dating for 2.5 years, so I'm not going anywhere, he's not going anywhere, and I definitely don't need a diamond on my hand to symbolize that. But damn, as I said diamond out loud, I was like, wait, it would be a diamond, huh? I definitely want a diamond, so I'm not sad. No, but could I go for a diamond? Like, sure. But in due time, like, I'm not the type of person to like beg him to do it or like rush him or be like, when are you doing it? When are you doing it? I mean, I'll do it jokingly sometimes, but I don't really like mean it, you know? I think everything has its proper timing. Another person said, can you please come out with merch? Yes, I can. It's coming. Have you ever felt like you let your following down, but you were really just being hard on yourself? Oh yeah, all the time. Like, last week, I remember not doing my 12-3-30 for like 3 days in a row, and I was beating myself up about it. I'm like, I'm letting my followers down by not leading by example, and I'm like, okay, you really need to just relax for a second. It's fine. Like, you're fine. Like, you'll get back on the treadmill. Like, it's not that deep. But yeah, I do have those conversations with myself all the time. Someone said, I get gay vibes from Henny. That's funny. I've seen that comment like a couple times, and I know he has too, and we always laugh about it. I guess all I could say is I don't get those vibes, and he definitely is not gay, but his brother is, and he's single, so if anybody's interested, hit me up. Someone said, I'm stuck on the toilet right now, constipated, because I'm nervous for our first game. What are you playing? Oh no, I hope it's nothing physical. Like, I hope it's not a physical sport, because you gotta get that shit out, literally. So how do you and Henny split house and dog responsibilities? Do you fight about it? So that's one thing that we've gotten better at through the years of living together. We have less fights about household things because we kind of know our places a little bit more. I am very much more in charge of anything related to like clothes or laundry. He and I both do the dishes, and he does do more dog related responsibilities than I do. I'm great at enforcing, like whatever the trainer says, like I'll definitely like do it and stuff. But as far as like who physically does more, like who goes and gets the dog food more, it's definitely more Henny. Ooh, this question is good. How do you deal with your sideburns? Do you laser or shave? I have the same problem. I did a video about this not too long ago, and I basically like opened up and I let you guys know, like, I am so insanely insecure about my sideburns. What I used to do is I used to get this tweezer right here and individually like rip them out of my face like 3 times a week, because I felt like the shaving gave me like a 5 o'clock shadow. The laser, I was never consistent with it, etc. And through making that video and through your comments, thank you by the way, I have just grown to accept them, and I let them grow out. Like, they're there, girl. And I feel freedom in that. I really do. They don't have the same sort of power over me as they once did, and I kind of just let them do whatever they want to do. That being said, I do want to do something to take away some of the volume. Like, I'm totally down for having sideburns. I actually feel like they frame the face really well, and now looking back at some pictures, I feel like I looked weird or like I was wearing a wig when I completely removed them. But I do definitely want to do something to remove some of the volume. I don't want to like laser them off completely, but I want to make them like less thick. I don't know how to do that. If anybody actually knows, please let me know. I've been starting to do this, but I've been starting to take the concealer and put it all in this line right here. Like on these two side lines, and for some reason it just really makes your face look good. I don't know why. Maybe it's just my face, but it low-key slaps. This is so funny. Somebody said, how do I keep my sheets white when I self-tan? Okay, here's the tea, girls. So you can either use Tan Luxe, which is a brand that is all colorless. So it's like a self-tanner, but there's no dye to it. So it just tans you and the chemical itself is clear. That's a great option, but what I do when I have the self-tanners that are orange is I get a really thin body suit. Is that what it's called? Bodysuit? Onesie. Sleep in a really thin onesie. Try to find like the thinnest material onesie you possibly can. That's more so you don't sweat, and sleep in that. And like for the feet, just put on socks. But that is a game changer. Do you ever get imposter syndrome? Oh yeah, all the time. All the time. All the time. I literally can't stress enough how much. Yes I do. Yes I do. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That's literally that on that, yes. Okay, someone asked, why are you insecure and have body image, wait, what? Why are you insecure and have bad body image sometimes? What do you struggle with? I think a large part of it is just like social media. It's hard for me not to compare myself to other people sometimes, as much as I know in theory it's not healthy and it's not gonna get me anywhere. It's a hard thing to turn off. So there's that. Another element of like why I deal with that sometimes is because I'm always filming myself and I'm always taking pictures of myself. Like when you get that immediate feedback of like, this is exactly what you look like, and like I have to film try on hauls sometimes, and it's like, sometimes I just feel like when you're on camera almost every day, you're gonna notice a lot more of what you would if you weren't, obviously. But you know, I don't think I have bad body image by any means. Like I'm pretty confident and happy with myself. But I would say that the struggles really come from comparing myself to people online and yeah, seeing myself being filmed all the time. But I'm at a good place. Again, I'm healthy and that's really all that I can ask for, and I love my body. I really do. Are there things that I nitpick and I'm like, oh, if this was bigger, this was smaller, everything would be great. And it's like, you have to be real with yourself and you have to acknowledge, like, even if I got all those things, would it be great? Would anything really change? No, you know? Oh my gosh, someone said I'm 3 months pregnant, but no one knows except for my husband. And me? Oh my God, thank you, girl. I feel honored to know about that. Wow, congrats on the baby. Congrats on becoming a mom. Ignore everything I said about how scary childbirth sounds. You're gonna do great. And you're doing amazing, sweetie. Does Henny feel insecure about you being the breadwinner? So I feel like you don't really see, and we don't really talk about this that much, but Henny is very much so involved and does so much on the back end and is a huge part of everything flowing as it does and being so successful. And that is like, you know, so we're very much a team and we're very much a package deal, and he definitely does a lot and gives himself absolutely zero credit and refuses to be given credit. It's very annoying. I try all the time, but he's like, no. So, I mean, not really, because we're very much a team. I mean, sometimes, I don't know, I feel like we are so used to, like, as a society or whatever, not trying to be corny, but we're so used to men being the breadwinners and women being like the stay-at-home moms, and it really is like 2020 and things are changing, and I feel like it's getting more normalized. So sometimes is it like a little bit weird? Like, yeah, we've definitely had some conversations that are a little bit alco taco, but overall, no, because we are very much a team. I used to be a Laura Mercier setting powder person only, and then I ran out of it, and Hourglass sent me this powder, and it's really, really good. It's the Veil Translucent Setting Powder, and I love it. I use it every time I do my makeup now, and it truly is great. Have you ever regretted becoming a YouTuber? Honestly, no. I literally have my definition of a dream job. I love what I do so much, but at the same time, like, it is a job and sometimes it has its challenges, and that's the point, and like, that's to be expected. Have I ever regretted it? Absolutely not. If anything, I'm so grateful and so thankful that I get to do this and get to pay my bills by doing this. Like, that blows my mind, and I'm so lucky and grateful. Like, literally, I love it so much. That being said, it definitely has its challenges. Like, sometimes I might not want to be on camera that day, but I'll have a sponsored video and I'll have a deadline, and regardless of how I'm feeling, I have to just get on the camera and do it. And those are the hardest times. Like, that's the hardest part about being a YouTuber, for me at least. It's like, sometimes I really just don't want to film because I'm not feeling confident, or I'm not feeling happy, or I'm just down, or I'm lazy. But it's like, you have a deadline and you have to get it done. I feel like in a different job, like, let's say you have to get on Zoom, or let's say you have to answer emails, you can kind of just like do that and not be on camera, So that is like a downside, but absolutely do I not ever regret becoming a YouTuber, because this has given me so much joy. The community that I've built gives me so much purpose. The comments that I read give me so much willingness to be alive, not in a bad way, like in a good way, you know what I mean? Like, it gives me a reason, like, it gives me a fire in my heart, because I really feel like I make a difference in people's lives, not in a cheesy way and not in a self-grandiose way, but really, like, I do get comments sometimes that are like, your videos make me feel less lonely, your workout has gotten me through a really rough patch of my life. Like, whatever the comment is, big or small, they really do mean a lot to me. So knowing that I can have an impact on people's lives, and maybe I'm just somebody to watch and just forget about whatever shit they're going through that day, like, even just knowing that is enough to make me never want to do anything else again. You know what I mean? These little NYX Cosmetics eyebrow pencils are so good, and they're so affordable. They literally remind me so much of that Anastasia Beverly Hills one, and that one is so expensive, and I feel like it always breaks at the tip, and this one has never broken for me, and it's probably like a fifth of the price. If you're curious as to what shade I use, it's Auburn. Relationships before Henny. I feel like you've never spoken about that stuff before Henny. The reason being, like, why I never talked about like my other relationships publicly really is because there was never any that were good enough or important enough to really bring to the table. I feel like they were all like little cutesy, I'm young and I have a little fling phases, but it was never anything like serious. So that's why I never really brought it up to you, because what's the fucking point? You know what I mean? But I definitely am glad that I had relationships before Henny, no matter how important or big or small they were, because at least I have something to compare it to and to appreciate all of Henny's wonderfulness, because I have experience with some of these lames. I said what I said. How much do you make per sponsored post? So there's not really like a flat rate, and it really is on a case-by-case basis. I'd say a lot of how much an influencer makes depends on how good their team is, how strong their brand is, and no two deals really are the same. Yeah, I guess it really just has to do with that. Like, I feel like, and look, this is just all speculation, but I feel like the same brand can hire me and somebody with a similar size to me, and we could get completely different amounts of money, and I don't really know what they base it off of, but I feel like that's the case from what I've gathered from my little look-sees around at the industry. But I do always try to get as good of a rate as I possibly can. But it does definitely vary. Like, it's not just like, oh, I make X amount per Instagram and X amount per YouTube. Like, it's really not like that. Will you ever do a podcast? I definitely want to. I think I actually signed a contract before Miss Rona to do one. Now I like want to do a completely different one. So, I don't know. Have you and Henny dealt with trust issues and jealousy? Yes, we have. Again, like, we're obviously just like regular people, so of course we have dealt with that. I think something that really helps is that neither of us have ever fucked up, so that makes it easier. You know, I feel like we both just deal with like human emotions, and like something will maybe just make us a little bit jealous or a little bit like, hey, but because we've never crossed any lines or crossed any boundaries really, it makes it a lot easier to trust the other person, because we've never really done anything wrong that I know of. Imagine, oh my God, could you imagine? That'd be so embarrassing. I'm like, we've never done anything, I trust him. A clown. But I'm kidding now.